Alrighty, guys, we have Junie B. Jones, guys, at Graduation Girls, chapter 4 and 5, because I forgot to post the video on Friday. Whoops. So remember, the last thing that happened was that she was in the principal's office, and she told him what she said about the poem, and that she had said that something was stinky or something like that. Let's see, what did she say? Roses are red, violets are blue, graduation is here, and your feet smell like stink, was her poem. And the principal told her that that was not really a choice. This one's called Cats in Gowns. I skipped to the door of room 9, and my whole face got happy, because guess who was talking to my teacher? It was Gus Filoni, that's who, and Gus Filoni is my favorite janitor. I zoomed right over to that guy. Gus Filoni, it is a joy to see you, I said. And so what brings you here anyway? Gus Filoni patted my head. I had a very important delivery to make, sis, he said. Just then, my bestest friend Lucille came running up to me, and she pointed to the big stack of boxes. It's cats and gowns, Junie B, she shouted. Gus Filoni brought us cats and gowns. And she twirled all around. I heard him talking to the teacher, and the cats and gowns are right there in those boxes. Everyone is getting one for graduation, she said. I jumped up and down. That is wonderful news, 'cause guess who doesn't love cats? That's what I would like to know. Uh-oh, do you think it's actually cats in the boxes? Cats and gowns, I hollered. Cats and gowns, hollered room 9. Mrs. sat down in her chair real slow, then Gus Filoni patted her shoulder and said the word, good luck. Mrs. said for room 9 to please stop shouting. I'm sorry, boys and girls, but Lucille did not hear me correctly, she said. No one in room 9 is getting a cat and gown for graduation. Room 9 did a loud groan. Then what are we getting exactly, I asked. Caps and gowns, said Mrs. You're all getting a cap and gown for graduation, not a cat and gown. No, said Lucille. I heard you say cat, teacher. I know you did. I know I did. Mrs. said for Lucille to hush, and then she passed out the boxes to all the children. I looked inside my box, real curious. I kept looking and looking, because something was not right in there. My cap got run over by a truck, I said. There's a big square Flatzo in there. Mrs. laughed, and she came to my table, and she unfolded my cap, and she put it right on my head. Hey, you know what? It fits, I said. After that, all of us put on our caps and gowns, and we all skipped around the room. Only not Lucille, because she was still upset about the cat issue, of course. Pretty soon the bell was going to ring, and so Mrs. made us put our outfits back in our boxes. I'm going to let you take these home with you today, she said, but please do not play with them on the bus. And don't play with them at home either. These caps and gowns are white, okay? And white material gets soiled very easily. I know it, Mrs., I said. I know white material gets soiled very easily, because one time my Grandpa Miller spilled beer on his new white tie, and you still see the beer spots on that thing. Mrs. looked and looked at me, and she sat back down at her desk very quiet, and she waited for the bell to ring. Alright, so now this is chapter 5, and it says, $1,000,000. Me and my bestest friend named Grace rode the bus home together, and we held our boxes very tight in our laps, and we didn't open them. We're going to be careful about our graduation gowns, aren't we, Grace? I said. We are being careful not to soil them. Yes, I said that, Grace, we are. I looked down at my box. I am very proud of us for not opening these things, I said. I am very proud of us, too, said Grace. We rode and rode, and I did a sigh. It's too bad we can't just peek a little bit, though, isn't it, Grace? I said. Just one teensy peek wouldn't even hurt anything, I bet. That Grace didn't say anything, and I tapped on her. Okay, here's what I'm thinking, Grace. I'm thinking we should do one little peek, and that's all, I said. What do you say, friend? Grace made her voice very loud. No, Junie B, no. We are not allowed to. Can't you follow orders? Huh? Do you want to spoil these things? I did a huffy breath at her. But peeking will not even soil them, Grace, I said back. Peeking is just looking with your eyes, only faster. Only too bad for me, because Grace kept saying no, no, no. And so I had to wait and wait for that stubborn girl to get off the bus before I could even peek. After she was gone, I looked in my box zippity quick, and you know what? I didn't even soil anything. I got off the bus and ran to my house. My Grandma Miller was babysitting my brother, and she was feeding him a snack in his high chair. Grandma Miller, I got my cap and gown. It's right here in this box, I said. Would you like for me to try it on for you, Grandma? Huh? Would you? Grandma Miller clapped her hands. Of course I would, she said, real thrilled. Try it on right now. Okie dokie, I said. Uh-oh. What do you think's gonna happen? Then I quick put on my cap and gown and I danced all around. See me, Grandma? See what I look like? I look like a graduation girl. I hopped all around Ollie's high chair. My teacher says not to play in this, but hopping is not the same thing as playing, I said. Just then I heard the front door open, and hooray, my mother was home, early from her work. And her whole mouth came open when she saw me. Oh my goodness, she said. Look how cute you are. I know it, Mother. I know I am cute. I said, look, I look like $1,000,000 in this get-up. And I twirled all around her. See me twirling, Mother? Twirling is not the same thing as playing, I said. After I stopped twirling, I fell down on the floor. Falling on the floor is what comes after twirling. It cannot be helped normally. Mother picked me up. Maybe we should take this off before it gets dirty, she said. No, Mother, no, I said. I want to keep it on. Please just let me keep it on. Please, please. I quick ran to Ollie's high chair and I ducked down behind it, and Ollie peeked around at me and he had a sloppy on his face. I am not a sloppy baby like Ollie, I said. I won't even get this dirty, I promise. But Mother shook her head. I'm sorry, Junie B, she said. It's just not a good idea to play in your gown. After that, Mother and Grandma Miller blocked the high chair and I couldn't run away again. Shoot, I said. I am surrounded. Mother took my graduation outfit off of me and she put it back in the box and put the box way up high on top of the refrigerator. So there's Mom putting it on top of the fridge. Let's store it up here for safekeeping, she said. Let's not, I said, real growly. Mother made squinty eyes at me. Then she took me by my arm and she marched me to my room, 'cause that woman has no sense of humor, apparently. She shut my door and left, and I flopped on my bed very glum. My stuffed animals were very glum, too. Everybody thinks I'm a sloppy baby, and I am not, I said. I don't think you're a sloppy baby, said my stuffed elephant named Philip Johnny Bob. I don't think you're a sloppy baby either, said my Raggedy Ann named Ruth. My Raggedy Andy named Larry did a sigh. I wish your mother didn't put that cap and gown on top of the refrigerator, he said. Me too, said Philip Johnny Bob. I wish you could get it down from there so all of us could see it. After that, I thought, and I lifted up his soft ear and I whispered, maybe I can. There she is talking to Philip Johnny Bob. Oh, that was the end of that chapter. So the next chapter is called Pooped and Thirsty. Alrighty guys, I will see you in tomorrow's videos and I will talk to you then. Bye!